welcome back to the show. Well, it is going to be hot from here to infinity. Yes. Summer is going to last forever, and the best thing to have on hand are lovely cold drinks, and we are going to be making some proper iced tea.
Yes, Brendan Waye joining us, tea sommelier, local blender as well, and you can find everything we're talking about. We'll give you the information in a little while. How are you, Brendan?
I'm doing really well. Now, thanks for having me in.
Let's start about this because we're talking about cold teas today and the refreshment and everything else. And when you had your chain of tea shops, that was sort of a big transition point for you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Finally getting people into cold teas.
Yeah, well, it's still, even today, I mean, as you know, the Americans drink twice, 3 times, 4 times as much iced tea as we do in Canada. And I think probably because our summers are shorter. Yeah. Also, we don't have the iced tea culture because it is an American invention.
It is.
Yeah,
like if you go to a restaurant in America, they'll ask if you want water, lemonade, or iced tea.
Yeah, especially in the South, where everybody makes their own sort of iced tea.
The World's Fair, I think in 1914 in Atlanta is where the first cup of iced tea was ever made. By mistake, too, by the way.
By mistake? What was the mistake?
Trying to sell hot tea, couldn't sell it to the crowd, took the ice, dumped it in the thing, and
Brendan, this is exactly what happened to you when you had your chain of shops.
Okay, so everybody knows the iced tea. You scoop out, you add some water, and that's not what we're talking about today. But when you're talking about proper loose leaf teas, what makes it different? What's different about the blend so that it makes good iced tea?
Well, the thing with, first thing you want is quick infusion. You don't want to wait for 4 hours on the sun porch waiting for the tea to brew. What I'm going to show you today is how to take the leaves and turn it into ice in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
So partly to do with that is the blends are extra scented, so they have more extracts, more ingredients. If you look at that, you can see what I'm talking about.
Why extra scented?
Because when you ice it, you lose a lot of the subtleties. So hot beverages tend to elicit more of the flavors of the tea. As soon as you ice it, everything becomes a little more dull.
Yeah.
Okay, so, tell us about the first one that we're going to be trying here.
This is a peach ice green tea, and it's using a Chinese green tea that's kind of broken up a bit, so again, quick extraction, and tons of chunks of fruit in here, you'll see. So I'm just going to go ahead and start getting that going right now.
There's always such I mean, all the health benefits, obviously, that people are coming to recognize, but there's a beautiful aesthetic to tea as well.
There is, absolutely.
Ritual, yeah.
The ritual of tea, and the ritual is about kicking back, really. Relaxing, good conversation, hanging with friends.
Wait, hot water?
Hot water. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to steep this for probably, do you want it sweet or unsweetened?
I like it unsweetened, but I will take it however the sommelier says that I should.
I'm just going to put a little bit of unrefined cane sugar in there.
So when we're talking green tea like this, does it still have a little bit of caffeine in it?
Absolutely. Actually, green tea has more caffeine than black tea.
That's what I thought.
It's unknown for a lot of people, but the thing is the more you...
Until they have 10 taps of green tea because they're trying to detoxify, and then they're like, whoa!
And the more you process tea leaves, because what's happened here, the green tea has been turned, when you make black tea out of it, you're essentially oxidizing the tea leaves.
Right.
And the more you process it, the more the goodies in the leaf escape and you lose them. So it's like eating fresh carrots versus boiled carrots.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Okay. And what do we have with the black tea? What kind of flavor is this one?
It's a plum and a berry mixture. So it's a French plum and a bunch of different exotic berries, which I'm not going to get into because it's a proprietary recipe.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not going to give away all my secrets here.
Don't give it away.
So do you have to have special equipment at home like you do to make the iced teas, or is this capable of anything?
You're going to see how simple this is. Really, what I'm doing is 3 scoops of tea into this little brewing device. These are kind of new on the market. This is a bottom dispensing device. You're going to see how it'll work in a minute. Let it steep for 2 or 3 minutes. Agitate it, stir it up. You know,
Mike, agitated. Tell bad jokes.
On the back, how could I possibly agitate anything?
So everybody
on the back, you can see he's got on the back of each of the tins as well, just nice, simple instructions for how you actually do the steeping.
It's color coordinated too by my labeling system.
So you've got a little martini shaker here, which I never would have guessed you would use.
Martini shaker. Everyone has one of these at home, I would imagine.
I have several. It's a bit of an indictment on my lifestyle.
So pull it out, pack it full of ice. Okay, take it and get as much ice in there as you can. That's what I'm going to do. Because you got to understand the hot tea is going to displace the ice, right?
Of course.
So you got to melt it down. So once you've got it all full of ice, this pretty much is done now, this green tea. So these are neat because you can either drop out of the bottom or you can lay it right on the top there like that.
Wow.
So as soon as it drops into the cup,
get out of town.
Empties all the tea in there. Grab your shaker, take it, give it a really good whirl. And the reason we want to do this is it creates fizz. The more fizz you have, the better it is for the taste of the tea. So drop it in there. You get a beautiful color.
I was going to say not the color I expected either. You know, typical ignorance.
And then add your ice.
And I'm just going to top it up.
And you're on the patio.
A few more cubes. and bring it up. And
can you make it ahead of time? I mean, obviously the preference is to have it quite fresh, but could you make some, keep it in the fridge for a few hours and sip away through the afternoon?
It's like coffee, though. If you let coffee sit on a burner for more than 15 minutes, you know the taste changes, right? So you want, it's better to prepare it fresh on the go. You're going to have a much better response.
Well, and this is such a simple way to make it as well, right?
I know. So second one, I'll show you a different method without the shaker.
Aw. Oh, I thought we were going to share a straw. I thought we were going to share.
That might be a little
delicious. It's got a really interesting flavor to it.
Yeah, and you can adjust the sweetness, obviously, but there is a reason that you used a little bit of sugar as well. And it is a compliment to bring out some of the other
You got it. And because there's so much going on in there, there's banana, and there's berries, and there's peach, and there's a whole bunch of things, you won't get those individual nuances unless you add a little bit of sugar.
But you don't have to overload it.
You don't have to overload it.
Like Mike said, seasoning it.
You got it.
Yeah, it's like salt for a steak.
Seasoning, that's a great way to describe it.
Brings up some of the accents.
You got it, yeah. So the other option, rather than if you don't have a shaker, then you can just do this. You just lay this thing right on the rim of the cup, and away you go.
And I think by showing, a lot of people think it would be difficult to make this kind of iced tea when they see the loose leaves. They kind of don't know what to do with it. But what a great refreshing drink to have as an alternative.
So this is the plumberry black, and you can tell right away that's more of a classic iced tea,
that's
right?
Classic,
that's totally classic. So try that, and that's
beautiful. People can go to your website to find out all the info, grab some teas, impress their friends. TheTeaGuy.com is the website.
That's a classic iced tea right there. That's like
a little bit of
that tastes like summertime and childhood right there. That's absolutely beautiful. People can find all these on the website. Can they find the utensils as well?
They find the utensils. And the thing is, I go out and I teach people how to do this all the time. So if you call me up and you want some training, you want to know how to run this in a restaurant program or cafe program, that's what I do.
Because we didn't even get into the health benefits of tea in all its various forms.
This stuff rocks. They all do, but the green tea will.
Well, cheers. Thank you so much. We're going to
sit on your porch and get healthy.
Quick break.